Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Anyone have near kidnapping experience stories?
Be 12 or 13. Get bored of hanging around at home watching TV. Decide to go out, called around to friends' houses, all either already out or grounded. I can have fun alone. Head to an old demolished sand processing plant thing about half a mile out into the marsh. I lived by the sea. It was our territory, since we all spent most of our time there, building fires and whatnot. I'm on my bike, so I get there pretty quick. Notice a creepy-ass van parked outside the compound, but decide to just ignore it. Dismount and walk past the van, which I then noticed contained a creepy guy. The old guy just stares at me while I walk past. Thought it was a bit rude, but decide to keep my head down to avoid trouble. Soon entered the compound, which was surrounded by tall sandbanks and accessible by an entrance cut into them. Wheeling my bike, I dawdle about, exploring the rubble mounds and thinking about why he was staring at me. Out of paranoia, I glanced back to see if the old man was following. Fuck. He had entered the compound and was heading toward me. No big deal. He was probably just walking his dog. Speed up just in case. Uneven ground makes this hard. Hide behind a rubble mound so I could observe the old man. Wait a little bit, but eventually pop my head up to see. The dude is literally bolting towards where he last saw me. Realize that the whole stranger danger thing wasn't crap. Silently wait. Stare for a while, but eventually decide to leg it away. Almost break my ankle on the loose rubble and my bike is bouncing everywhere. Heart is beating fast, but I know this place like the back of my hand and soon find another exit. Leads me deep out onto the marsh. I'm fucked if he catches up here, since there are no witnesses. The creepy guy appears at the top of the compound wall. He must have scrambled up, and now I was in full view. My heart almost stops, and we stare each other out for a bit. He makes the first move. As he comes bounding down the steep sandbank, I run faster than ever before. Again, the rough terrain slows me down. Bike is useless because the ground is waterlogged. Young legs are still faster than Mr. Kidnapper's. Easily run around the outside of the compounds to get back to the road, my house, and safety. While running, I look back. Creepy old dude has run out of energy and has come to a complete stop. Feeling relieved, .gif. I soon turn one of the compound's corners and finally reach the road. Spot his van. Revenge time. Pick up a rock from the gravel lay-by parking area. Proceed to make scratchy art all along the black paintwork. Too caught up in revenge to remember to take his registration plate. Ride back home feeling shaken. Never tell anyone until years later.
I don't have one about myself, but true story. I'm 13 or 14 living in military housing, somewhat friends with a quiet boy a few streets away from me. He was kind of an outcast, like most of us were, a little sheltered, and his family were a little odd, but harmlessly so. Suddenly on the local news, child abduction. Unfortunately common back then, but this time it was a bit different. A kid from my neighborhood was picked off the street. Shit bricks. The 4-year-old brother of my friend was the one apparently abducted. Some time passes. A bit of a media frenzy because the last place you'd ever expect something like that to happen would be in military housing. My friend becomes withdrawn, starts wearing t-shirts with his little brother on it, like he were a human milk carton. Feels bad, man, .jpg. Some time passes, only one lead. A guy gets called in for questioning by the feds. A few days later, he turns up dead, killed himself. Some time passes, nothing new on the case. My friend became withdrawn and quiet. The father gets relocated to a new base, and I lose touch. 2 years later, I find out that remains were found, a mile or two from where the now supposed suspect lived. Only skeletal remains were found of a child. It is a possible match, but nothing concrete about the cause of death. Last I heard, they were being sent in for tests. I find it a little strange because even searching for it now, I don't see any follow-up information resulting from those DNA tests. The case just peters out.
I live in a pretty calm suburb near a high school. It is a long series of events in which I'm kinda related. Anyway, my uncle lives with my two cousins who are 12 and 14 years old, 2 blocks away. He has to drive in front of an entry of the school every day. Me too, but my schedule is not synced up with the school. Be like November 2012. My uncle sees every day the same old guy with a beard parked near that entry. In a fucking white van. He looks at kids going to school. He tells me that, but I never had the chance to see him. I live a bit farther, but all the kids walk next to my home in a little field to take a shortcut. My uncle calls the police because he is worried by the guy. He could be a parent taking his kid to school, though. The police say they will keep an eye on the area. No news. The guy doesn't come again. 1 to 2 weeks later, my face when he is parked in my street next to the field where he can look at all the kids walking to school. I'm pissed off, but my parents tell me we better call the police. They say they will keep an eye on the area. My brother had a noisy '94 BMW at the time. One day he is followed by the guy. He lets off after 3 corners. My face when he is maybe an undercover cop. One day I go to a restaurant with my bro in his car. Out of nowhere, the white van begins to follow us. We shit our pants, but we take it cool and go to the drive-thru. He doesn't follow us. That is what we thought. He enters by the other side. We were alone in the lane, and he stares at us from the other side. I'm pissed off and get out of the car. He drives away. My uncle knew his plate number, so we give it to the police. Since then, not much happened. Some mornings we would see him, but just driving in our street. I never saw any police car, though. Be December 21st, the last day of high school before Christmas. He is parked after school in the field, which is full of snow, but usually it is grass. Oh. During Christmas break, we don't see him. But on January 3rd, a girlfriend of my brother tells us she knows who it is by looking at the picture. Turns out he lives in her apartment block. We go there and we recognize his van. We return there at night, put a shit on his hood and cut his tires. Well, that is pretty anticlimactic. That is what happened.
Here is one for you. B8. Older sister is addicted to OxyContin. Her grades went from B's to D's. The family thought her classes were just really hard and gave her the benefit of a doubt. Her habits get worse. She uses up all her savings from her job and small allowance buying drugs. One day she grabs me by the hand and tells me we're going on a field trip. I thought my older sister was back to herself even though she clearly looked like hell. She takes me to a shady place in the city. She opens the door and there are a couple of people sitting around. I'll pay with them. What I now realize were, drug dealers stared at her in disbelief. Don't you people do slave trafficking too or some shit? I'll just tell my parents he was kidnapped. They toss her a bag and grab me by the arm. After she leaves, they shake their heads. Sorry about all this, kid. Here, give me your home number. I'll call your parents to pick you up. One guy lends me his Game Boy with Contra on it to play to pass the time. My parents find out about her drug habit. She has the choice to check into rehab or be kicked out of the house. She goes into rehab. My parents buy me Pokemon Blue as compensation.
Around 9 years old, be at my grandma's house.
playing outside in this cul-de-sac-looking thing. Everyone knew everyone, so it would be pretty common for kids to be playing out here. Grandma went in for a second, playing with some toys. Think about how hot it is and how thirsty I am. Walk to go inside. Some dude in his 1990-something creeper van rolls up. "Hey kid, want some water? It's pretty hot outside." He gets out of his car, starts walking towards me. "Nah, I'm okay. I'll just go inside." He keeps pushing me towards his van. "Come on, kid, I know you're thirsty." At this exact moment, my dad pulls in to pick me up from my grandma's. I've never seen such a look of terror on anyone's face, but this dude looks like he's about to shit his pants. Now, my dad was a pretty built guy. He grabs a bat that was inside his car and runs towards me and this dude. The guy tries to open his door. My dad moves me out of the way. At that exact moment, the dude turns around, pulls back the biggest swing he can possibly take. "Hello, jaw, meat metal bat." Crack. .mp3. This guy's jaw is coming out through his skin, basically hanging off his face, completely dislocated. Blood everywhere. This dude is basically going into shock. My dad calmly drops the bat, takes me inside, calls 911. My grandfather used to be a cop, so they know where he lives. Around 4 cruisers pull up in 3 minutes. They all swarm the van. At this point, this dude is almost dead, choking on his own blood and about to pass out. The police officers put him on his stomach so he can breathe. The ambulance arrives. They attempt to stop the bleeding. They put this bag-looking thing over his head, and they take him away. The officers ask a few questions and leave. Later in the report, my dad's actions were completely justified. The dude ends up losing most of his jaw from the incident. Turns out his jaw was completely shattered. He ended up getting like 5 years for trying to kidnap me. I'll never forget that day.
Be like 11. Parents visiting friends in a nearby house, watching TV. Get a funny feeling. Look out the window. See a guy on the street staring at my house, just standing there, staring at the window, walls, whatever. I stand behind our special curtain. People can't see me from outside, but I can see them faintly. No Avi. Really scared. The man actually walks up to the door, tries to unlock it. The door is locked along with the windows. He's trying to unlock it for like 2 to 3 minutes, increasingly agitated. He gives up and leaves, but actually walks up to the window and knocks on it like 3 times rather loudly. Walks away. I'm now completely bawling my eyes out, never wanting my parents so bad as now. They come like 20 minutes after. Find me like this. Tell them the story. They call the police. Nothing really happens afterwards. I don't know if the guy ever really did something and got caught or what. My parents never left me home alone again, literally never until I was older. Still get chills and freak out when I remember the incident.
I have a story, kind of. Be about 5, chilling in my front yard. A girl around 14 shows up. She tells me we're friends. I'm a dumb 5-year-old, so I'm like, okay, sure. She tells me we're going to go on an adventure. Again, I'm dumb, so I agree. She leads me up into this rundown apartment building. The hallways are barely lit, it smells bad, and I decide I want to leave. She's holding my arm and won't let go. "You're mine now," she tells me. I'm freaking out at this point and trying to get away. She manhandles me into this dank apartment. It's filthy and dark. There's beer bottles everywhere and stuff that I realized much later was meth paraphernalia. She shoves me into a closet and locks the door from the outside somehow. I'm screaming and crying at this point. She keeps repeating that I'm hers and I belong to her, and she's going to keep me forever. I stay locked in that closet for a long time. Eventually, an old man shows up. He's like, "Why the fuck is this small child doing in our closet?" The girl starts flipping out about how she wants a baby. Yeah, she's like 14. Weird stuff. I'm begging the man to let me go home. Finally, he lets me out and I bolt down the stairs. I can hear the girl screaming and crying as I toddle on my tiny legs as fast as I can. Get home somehow. Cry for hours. My parents chalk it up to some sort of prank. Scarred me forever.
Used to work for a university shuttle. Mostly drove drunk-ass freshmen back to their dorms on the weekends. Mostly worked the early morning shifts to avoid vomit and the sorts. Get there early one day. A driver from the night shift is all shaken up. Ask him what is up. He looks at me all freaked out like and gives the following account. Be 3 a.m. He has 2 half-asleep kids on the bus. A random girl in a miniskirt and one high heel stumbles into the road. He stops the bus and waits as she turns and gestures to him oddly. She falls face down on the ground. He said he thought he was going to have to turn the bus off and go help this girl when shit got weird. He said a gray piece of shit car pulls out of nowhere and 2 guys get out of the back. At this point, the girl wasn't moving, still laying face down on the ground. The 2 random dudes grab her and dump her into the trunk of the car. They slam the trunk and get into the car. The car took off like there was no tomorrow. He watched this in horror, only to realize the car had blocked plates. He gave a report to the cops, never heard a word. He refused to take the night shift for like 3 months after that.
B13. My friend and I drink publicly. I live in the ghetto of Montreal. Cops don't care. We're drinking, doing E in the park. These guys look about 25, invite us to drink at their house. This isn't the first time an older stranger invites us somewhere. We go with him. He lives in the ghetto too. Everything's cool for a couple hours. Just drinking, smoking, and took some more E. We go to leave 'cause shit got boring. One of the guys goes in front of the door. "No one said you can leave yet." Oh shit, what's going on? I just say, "Hey man, we got our own alcohol and E. We don't owe you anything." My friend looks so scared, she just adds in, "Please, let us leave." We argue with the guy for a while. He punches me in the face. What the fuck did we get into? My friend and I shut up. He told us to sit down. We did. He got some more beer and weed. We partied more. It's awkward. My eye's swollen and it hurts. The guys eventually fall asleep. We don't want to risk waking them up with the front door. We have to sneak out the bathroom window. We run all the way to my place.
Take evening classes in college. Always get out around 9 or 10 p.m. When I got to campus, there weren't any parking spaces near my class's building. Had to walk about a quarter of a mile to get there. Gonna be late. Finally finished classes. Time to walk back to my car. Nobody's around anymore since it's pretty late. A black SUV with full tinted windows is down the street a little bit, just parked on the side of the street. Weird surprise security hasn't told him to fuck off yet. As I walk by, whoever is driving blinks the lights a few times, trying to get my attention, I guess. Ignore him and keep walking. He pulls up next to me and rolls the window down. A creepy dude with an Eastern Europoor accent asks me if I live nearby. Not really. Well, do you want to ride to your car or something? The fuck? No, I'm good. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Suddenly, security comes out of nowhere. The dude spots them, peels out and speeds off campus. Security asked me if I'm all right, and they start calling 911. The security guards tell me to stay. The police show up and start asking me a bunch of crazy-ass questions, asking me to describe him and shit. They just tell me that they're looking for him, but won't reveal any other information. I leave once they're done. Not really sure what the fuck that was, but it was creepy.
3 odd occurrences happened in my childhood. All of them involved white vehicles, not to sound paranoid, just stating what I noticed. First time, be me, about 4 or 5 years old. Live out in the middle of nowhere desert. A white van pulls through the alleyway and stops at my back gate. We had a small neighborhood of around 7 to 10 houses. A guy in the front begins filming me while I played in the mud. Got up, ran inside, and told my mother after having a small staring contest with the guy and his camera. Ran back out and he was gone. Be me around 8 or 9 years old. Rebellious one. Decide to go out for a bike ride at 6 a.m. when no one is awake. Get about a mile away from my house in a small town. We moved when I was 7. A white truck begins following me through alleys and such. Begin chase. Rode the fastest I could go, taking unpredicted turns and such, and managed to lose the car. Go home and spend the rest of the day indoors without saying a word to anyone. And number 3, be me, 11 years old. Go to run around a couple blocks. I liked exercising and testing my limits at that age, still in the small town. Get about halfway around. A white truck flips out onto the street I'm on. A Mexican-looking guy, looked to be in his 30s or so, jumps out of the moving truck and gives chase. Fearing the worst, I kicked myself into hyper mode and began running faster than I ever had before. Got near the house with the truck and the Mexican on my trail and began to call out since someone was sitting on the porch when I left. Got to the house and nobody was outside. I looked back and both the truck and the man were gone. That is all I got.
Living in Hollywood, bored, alone, and hungry, decide to go to 7-Eleven. Leaving the 7-Eleven, some dude in a silver SUV calls to me. "Hey girl, I want to talk to you, come here." I'm like, "No thanks, sorry." Not sure why I was so polite, honestly. He keeps repeating what he said. I keep saying sorry to him. I walk faster, only like a block away from home. Clear the corner, think I'm cool. He drives up next to me. "I just want to talk to you, now come here." Nope, nope, nope. Walk faster. Still following me. He finally gets the idea and fucks off after I walked past and around the block again, so he didn't know where I lived. Get home safely. Shook me up though.
Recently got my carry permit. Driving a friend home from college campus to a very shitty part of the city. Driving down a dark street. No streetlights that work. Most of the houses are condemned. A shitty yellow, rusted old full-size van pulls right out in front of us from an alley blocking the road. The big sliding door on our side opens. A man with a balaclava on jumps out. Oh my fucking God. He's holding a machete. He starts walking towards the car. I pull out the .357 my retired police officer father gave me for my first carry weapon, pointing it right at this fucker's face, fully prepared to kill someone for the first time. My friend is sobbing at this point, completely frozen with panic and fear. The man sees my weapon, hesitates, stops, but doesn't back off. I pull the hammer back and yell, "This fucker's loaded, and you will be my first, if you take one more step forward." The man looks back at the van. The guy in the passenger seat, also masked, waves him back. He runs back, closes the door, and peels off. I got the plates, reported it to the police. Nobody gave a shit. It was the shitty part of the city.
Mine is from when I was a kid, maybe 5 years ago. Mom gets a predator alert email. Shrug, continue life as normal. Next month, walking home from school, a black sedan rolls up. An older guy rolls down his window. Ugly-ass fucker asks where I'm going and if I need a lift. Say no thanks and keep walking. The car rolls forward a little. The older dude says, "You look tired. Are you sure you don't want to ride?" I nod and walk faster. The car rolls forward a little. Say I'm good and whip out my phone. The dude drives away without another word. Run home and convince Mom to buy me pepper spray and a knife. Never saw that guy again. Stuck with me, because at the time, I was 1000% sure the neighborhood Roblox developer shittily tried to kidnap me.
I've told this story before. It's a story from my grandmother's lil bro. Be 6 to 8. Be dirt poor without electricity in the Appalachia Mountains. Put milk in the creek to keep it cool so it doesn't spoil. Milk goes missing one day. Family blames me. Under punishment. Must wash dishes while family goes berry picking. While doing dishes, see this one guy walking directly to the house. Guy is covered in what looks like blood. He goes for the front door. I run to the front door and lock it. He runs for the back door. I run and lock it too. He and I go back and forth between the doors for a bit. Finally decide I have to run. Open the back door, head toward my aunt's house. The man is in fast pursuit. He almost catches me, but I manage to make it across a creek by walking a log fast. Stay at my aunt's house until my family comes. Weeks later, some guy in Asheville is found in the basement of a church. Apparently, he murdered little boys in the area. The milk stopped going missing after this event.
Be 7 or 8. Hear parents talking about a kid that was found dead in a men's bathroom, his throat cut. One day I'm in a public bathroom, paranoid ever since hearing my parents talking. Always piss in the locking stall. Hear several men come into the bathroom. Feel a little nervous but stay calm. Flush the toilet. Zip up my pants. Turn to leave. See feet surrounding the stall. The one in front of the door starts hitting it, trying to break through. The ones on the side start reaching under. I jump onto the toilet to stay out of their reach and kick their hands if they get too close. After what felt like minutes but was probably only about 20 seconds, they give up and leave. I'm so scared it takes me like another 10 minutes to work up the courage to leave. Tell my mom what happened. Police are called. They were never found. Never again go into a public bathroom that isn't a single one until I'm almost 16.
Walking from the middle school. My route was this bike path with some woods around it. Would walk by myself, it would only take about 15 minutes. Off the bike path is a road pretty far off from any houses. A minivan pulled to the side of the road. Some guy is sitting on the curb, not really paying attention. He sees me and perks right up like an erection in gym shorts, like he was waiting for me. Oh, good, somebody finally. Look, I need some help getting my daughter into my car. She's got cerebral palsy, and I was having some trouble getting her in my car. Well, who am I to not please a complete stranger? Something seems off about this guy, though. Yeah, it is over here, in the back. Stranger fucking danger. I have the stones in my pocket that I like to throw at shit on my walk home because my dad doesn't give me enough attention. He turns to me, suddenly looks really irritated. Are you fucking coming? I don't move. He can't see me if I don't move. He reaches out with his hand. Look, just come on, and I start pelting this fucker like I'm that boxer Jackie Robinson. Hit him once in the knees. He drops like a building. Running away, some woman comes out of nowhere and starts crying and hitting me with her crutches. Sweep kick, don't feel bad. Go home and play with my Legos. All in all, it was a good day, though the school called back and I'm not allowed to teach there anymore.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.